in your experience, Tony, with the movements that you were involved with, and this is a gross oversimplification, so I apologize for this, but would you say that a lot of the people who were your, if I use the term fellow travelers, would have been from similar backgrounds as you, or were you the outlier?
I, I'd answer that question yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
there's, I guess, certain things about me that sort of make me an outlier. Um, but I think if we take a step back from it, and I talk a lot about toxic shame, and
Mhm.
healthy guilt and shame is I did bad, I did wrong. Toxic shame is I am bad, I am wrong, and
Okay.
it's a feeling of being less than human, not good enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, whatever it is that resides deep in our subconscious identity belief system. It's not something we carry around consciously, but it's something. It's a base misunderstanding about ourselves that we operate from. So we live our lives um, with this toxic shame, and it's I think it's part of the human condition. It's not like
Mhm.
if you've got toxic shame, you're going to end up in a violent extremist group.
Right.
Um, that's the angst that a lot of young people deal with is dealing with who they are in the world, and we operate from sort of two places when we're dealing with toxic shame. One is we try to convince the world or deceive the world that that's not who we are. So we
Hmm.
project ourselves to be something that we're not. We put
Hmm.
on masks, we wear armor, and we hide that dirty secret from the
Right.
world. The other thing we do through eating disorders, substance abuse, all kinds of self harm, um, toxic shame is the dirty secret we hide from ourselves, and we
Right.
often
Right.
do both. Suicide is the ultimate internalized
Mhm.
shame response. Murder is the ultimate externalized shame response. So I'd say that the same things which lead people into a gang also lead people into violent extremism, or lead to not an organization, but being verbally, emotionally, physically violent in their personal relationships even.
Mhm.
um,
That's very interesting. So, okay, so you're in this lifestyle, Tony, for the better part of a decade and a half. You've got a sense of belonging. You've got a sense of power. You're putting behind this notion that you're kind of a nobody that you kind of felt at one point in your life. What was it then that led you to get out? Because I would think that the feelings were probably still there. You kind of still felt the sense of power. You saw yourself as kind of big man on campus within these. Like I said, you became an organizer and a recruiter. Was there a single aha moment, or was it something that kind of developed over time that said, you know what? I think I've had enough of this shit, and I need to get out.
there was a moment that was a catalyst, but a catalyst to a longer process, and that was the day I held my baby daughter in the delivery room, and
Isn't that something? Yeah, that,
yeah, and I'm
for those
holding
who weren't
her,
parents, you
and
have no idea what it feels like.
she's got a little scrunchy face, and she opens her eyes for the first time, and I connected to another human being for the first time since I
Wow.
couldn't remember when. There's having this experience and having this sort of connection. Now, what do I do with it? And for the first time in my life, I felt that human connection, and for the first time in my life, in that period, I thought about someone else other than myself.
Wow.
Before that had happened, I was a complete narcissist. I
Hmm.
was completely self-absorbed and narcissistic, and I was also completely cut off from my feeling. If you'd have met me then, I would have presented as a sociopath.